So, Virginie, this is Mary. She's also one of our board members.
Hi, Mary. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I think we're going to get started now. It's 5 after. And this is also a recording, so we can also use this in a future reference for other families to ask. So I just wanted to introduce Virginie. She is from the Citizens organization, and she is also a rare disease parent of a child that has SYNGAP1. So she really knows how important this opportunity is for us and also can answer any questions. So feel free to use the chat if you would like, if you have to jump off or on at any time, and Virginie will take it away.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. I'm glad to be here with SCN2A families. I feel like we are very connected with SYNGAP. We all kind of see each other around, so welcome. If you have any questions at any time, please, it's a small enough group that you can interrupt me and I'll be happy to answer the question right away. So I will start sharing my screen. Oh, you do need to make me host, sorry. There you go, all right. So let me share. All right. Okay, can you all see my screen now? Good. All right, well, so today I will discuss, I will introduce Ciitizen, the digital natural history study, and you probably all heard about it by now. The SCN2A page has been open for a little bit, and we still have some spots open. So today I just wanted to give you information about what Ciitizen is, what we do, and how it's going to help research, how it's going to help your family, and how to sign up. So once again, if you have any questions, just let me know. All right. So first I wanted to kind of go back and explain what a natural history study. You probably hear those words all the time. And how does that compare to a registry or anything else? So a natural history study tracks the course of the disease over time. So it really looks at the disease and, from the birth of a child to adulthood, right? It's just tracking over time. So traditional natural history studies are challenging because of that, right? It can take years to collect a lot of data. Families might have to travel to clinical center to collect their data multiple times over the years. And that can be very expensive and often not affordable for rare disease groups. And then the other challenge for traditional natural history studies is that you're going to spend as a family a lot of time traveling and answering questions, but you might not get access to the data that was collected. So when Ciitizen, as a parent, when I saw the opportunity of Ciitizen, I was really excited because it was a new kind of natural history study that was a lot easier for families to participate in. So we are a new generation of natural history study. We are completely digital, so you do not need to participate to go and visit a clinical center. We collect all of the patient's medical records on your behalf from all the institutions that you visited. Data from medical records will be organized and summarized at no cost to the patient. And then you have access to that data. So you can log back into your portal and you will be able to see all of the medical records there for you, again, at no cost to you. And then with consent, if you sign the research consent, we can share your anonymized data to biopharma clinicians, researchers, to help advance research. And what my favorite part of this is that it really only takes 10 minutes for caregivers to register. I think, Carla, I don't know if you timed yourself. I know I timed myself because I was like, I want to make sure that's the right claim. And I did it in 7 minutes. So I don't know if you can confirm that it does not take long.
Correct. It doesn't take long. I made sure I had the birth certificate ready to go and my driver's license ready to go. So it was a really quick process.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to move on and explain how Ciitizen works. So you'll go in and register, and we'll go through the onboarding process later on in the presentation. Like we said, it's really quick. It doesn't take a lot of time. And once you're onboarded and you have all the important documents uploaded, our team will go in and collect medical records from all the different institutions. So it's going to take a couple of weeks, and then you're going to start getting emails saying that your records are coming in. And those are exciting emails. I remember just dropping everything I was doing and logging on my portal to see what was there and started reading pages and pages of medical records that I had never seen. So that's good for families, but on the back end, what we have an exceptional machine learning system that will go in and extract key information from all of your medical records. It's like medication, epilepsy, like everything, all the critical information, all the other diagnoses you have, so that we can really get a good picture of your rare disease. Machine learning is great, but where we are even better is that we have 3 different pair of eyes that are going to go through, again, all the medical records and double check what the machine learning extracted, and just to really make sure that we have the best data output from your records. And then the data is going to be organized and summarized and shared with advocacy groups, researchers, clinicians, biopharma, very easily. Do we have any questions so far on the process or how Ciitizen works? Nothing? Okay.
I was going to wait till the end, but maybe it's appropriate here. Sorry.
Okay.
Is there a window of time at which people have to connect which doctors? I know we went through and did all the ones we could think of, but if people, see new specialists or new doctors, can they come back and request that?
Yes, absolutely. You can go back. In fact, I haven't done that, but there's another family in the SINGAP community, and she was looking for a second opinion. So she was going to go back in and add and just tell Ciitizen, hey, can you go back and collect more information from that provider? Because we've seen it since we started, since the records were imported and everything was already up to date. So that was for existing providers. And then if you need to go back and add more, then you can as well. We try to tell families to think through that ahead of time, just so that we can go in and go full blast on record collection and it doesn't delay then the data delivery. But yes, you can go back anytime and add more institutions, more providers, no problem.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, if there's no other question, I'll keep going. So we always say, you're hearing this is going to help accelerate research. So we wanted to kind of explain to you why. First, like we say, from all the information we're getting from the medical records, we are able to give a really clear picture of the disease and how it changes over time. It's going to allow us to get better endpoint selection for clinical trials. It helps us connect specific mutations with symptoms, and that's going to it's going to help to facilitate targeted therapies. It will reduce the time it takes to study new medicines in clinical trials. It speeds up the time to get therapeutics to patients. And then finally, and that's probably, as a parent, I think a personal favorite of mine, is that now we can use the data as a placebo instead of actual patients in clinical trial. So these are all the different ways a digital natural history study, and specifically Ciitizen, can help accelerate research. So this is another question we're getting a lot from families is if you are in a rare disease community, and I know SCN2A has other initiatives out there, how is that replacing other studies? Is it complementing? And the answer is Ciitizen complements everything that all the other efforts, all the other data collection that you're doing outside of Ciitizen. It's really another tool in a toolbox. Data is really important to understand, like we said, the evolution of the disease. And Ciitizen is just another data endpoint that we're adding to the ecosystem. That one only takes 10 minutes, so that's why it's pretty easy for family to participate. It doesn't replace anything else that's out there. It's just an addition to what you have. And I don't know if Carla, if there's anything you want to add to this. I know you have several other efforts underway.
Yes, it's also a really great, like you said, a complement to it. So there is, the more data that is out there and the more that families participate in varieties of different data, it's great for SCN2A in general.
Perfect. And do you have another study that that is underway? I think I've seen something that was out there being pushed. No?
Yes, there is a clinical trial readiness program that is launching in April 1st. So this will also be complementary because there will be records here and then there will be other data. And it's an expansion of the Simon Searchlight.
Perfect. And we will be able to connect the data to the patients and the different studies. So it's a very important step to take, definitely. Participate as much as you can. All right, so this is all great, but like we say, we've already, family are asked to participate in different studies. And what I personally loved as a parent about Ciitizen was that I was getting something in return. So I just wanted to share that aspect of it too. So number one, you do have the satisfaction to be playing a big part in helping research with a minimum effort. We are all busy. Our lives are usually complete chaos. But with 10 minutes, you really do have a big impact on research. Then you can access all of your loved ones' medical records in one place. I don't know if any of you already had to go and try to find medical records. It's just a nightmare. And in some places, you might be charged for it as well, versus here, it's all free and you all have access to it without any effort. You can share that medical information with whoever you want. So in the communities, and we're getting feedback from other communities as well, families have said it made it so much easier to get a second opinion. For a lot of families, the thought of changing provider is daunting because then you have to go get the medical records and you don't know what is going to carry over and how long it's going to take to get the right information to the new provider. And you're probably, just like me, tired of repeating over and over again everything about your child. And now you just have to click the share button on your dashboard, enter the email address of the provider, and it's done. So it's a huge time saver for family, and you can really take control of your loved one's healthcare. And then the final point that I like to make that not many people know is that hospitals are required to keep records for 10 years, but after that, they don't have to keep them. And so as we've already made it clear, it's important to understand a disease over time, but if we are missing a big chunk of records because the hospitals don't have them anymore, that's a big gap that is created. So having Ciitizen will allow you to just keep those records coming and just keep them for as long as you need them to. Do we have any questions on how it's also helping families? Nope. All right, let's keep moving then. Okay, so what do you need if you want to sign up? There are 3 key components that we recommend getting ready before you start the onboarding process. Number one is finding your child's birth certificate. And as we found in a few communities, it can be tricky for some families. And then getting your driver's license. So those are the two documents we are going to use to request records on your behalf. That's the only reason we're asking for that information. Is most of the time the providers will request those documents to access to give your records. The second important piece of information is your genetic report. It's usually the last record that we are able to get our hands on, and that's one of the most important. It has so much information on it. And it confirms your diagnosis. So if you already have your genetic reports in hand, then we recommend that you either take pictures or you scan it and have it ready to upload, or that you write down, and I'll show you where, the information of where that genetic report, what lab did the work. That's going to help us, that's going to save us a lot of time, and it's going to give critical information right away. So a very important piece of, a very important document to have. And then finally, the list of institutions and providers. The more you can enter, the better. And I'll just give my personal example. My son is followed in just one institution, but I still listed every single provider under that institution because I wanted to make sure everything was going to be there. But we have families that are listing up to 36 institutions. So the more detail you are, the better, because then we can go out and capture everything, all the records. Like Matt said earlier, if you forget it when you're on board, you can always come back and add more later. I think I went back 3 or 4 times to add different providers. All right, any questions on what you need to gather before signing up? Or why we need that information?
I have one quick question about the genetic report. Now, we do have families that have multiple of different diseases. So if they have SYNGAP and also SCN2A, so if they register for SCN2A and Ciitizen sees another disease causing, does that automatically enter them into that other category? How does that work?
Not automatically. We will ask, so we will spot it and we'll say, okay, either it's a VUS in one and it's pathogenic in another, or it's a VUS in both, and then we don't know which one it is. And in which case, we'll definitely encourage the family to sign up in both studies. In that situation, the family will not have to re-enter everything. We can share information from one deal to the next, as long as the consents are signed. So if they came in through SCN2A, but then find the SYNGAP or whatever other, we will send them to the landing page for that other rare disease, and they can just get the consent form for research for that specific disease, and that's it. And then we do the magic on the back.
Awesome. And one more. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I know that Ciitizen comes in and keeps up to date on the records as much as they can. Do they also do that with a genetic report? Because sometimes over in time, the genetic report can have updates. So do you also go to GeneDx or Invitae and request updates?
We try to request update as much as we can, but if the family knows that, or has been notified that there's something new that showed up, then they can just go back and let us know, and then we'll go and get the most up-to-date information.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Then the onboarding process. Everybody ready? All right, let's go. So this is the SCN2A landing page. So this is the page you should see when you're getting ready to onboard. And the address is ciitizen.com/SCN2A, and Ciitizen has 2 I. Don't forget that, otherwise it's not going to take you anywhere. So you have a lot of information on that page. If you still have questions, you can always reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer. But at the bottom of that landing page, there's a good FAQ section that has a lot of information about how we do everything, why we need the information that we're asking, etc. So you can definitely look that up, and that's at the bottom of your landing page. So when you're ready, you just click on Get Started. And then the first one is we're just going to make sure you, right now that you are US based, you speak English, and you do have a confirmed SCN2A alteration. I know there's, Carla, you mentioned there were some questions about international families. So we will open up international patients in April, and the flow will be a little bit different. But you'll be able to go in and upload your medical records and participate. And we can take more specific questions if you want it later. All right, so once you confirm that those criteria, then you are going to be taken to the research consent. And that will, that's just pretty much saying that you want to be part of the SCN2A research data bank, so that it will be your information will be shared and in an anonymized de-identified way. Sorry, should have rehearsed that word. And you will be asked to enter child information, your information, and then an email address for that specific consent. Then it's the consent about what information you're willing to share with families in SCN2A. And Carla, do you want to take a few minutes of why it's important for the families to share that information with you?
It's important just to make sure everyone's in our community so everyone can also benefit from everyone. It's really, and I think a lot of families would agree, being in the global network community online, it's really beneficial. Also, keeping up to date with research that the Families SCN2A also supports and gives grants out to. So making sure they're on their mailing list, knowing when things or new opportunities are available in their area or for research. So being connected and making sure that your information is up to date is very important to make sure that you're in.
You're in. And we do recommend that you select both sharing your contact information and your citizen profile. Your citizen profile is your is more of your more data. So that's then helping families SCN2A if a researcher is looking for a specific mutation that they want to study or whatever it is, to be able to put you in touch with that researcher. So that's also a very important step to do. All right, so then you will be asked a few questions about seizures and then your genetic report questions. So that is just a fairly, again, straightforward path. And just keep moving along, answer, click next, and then you get to, once you're done entering information about your genetic report, just click on continue. And it will take you to the citizen account creation. So this is the account that you will be used to log back in your dashboard and access your medical records, share them, add more. So that's an important email address and password to remember. So this is where you create it, and then we are getting into the actual the full onboarding flow at this point. So we will collect patient information. So first, are we collecting records for yourself or for a loved one? Your child's name, relationship, confirm the primary diagnosis, date of birth, and then where your child was diagnosed with SCN2A. From there, it will ask you, okay, based on that, the answer to that question, did you receive treatment there? Yes or no? And then we'll ask you to list any other providers or facilities that you've visited. So if you see, it's kind of hard to see at the bottom corner right here, you can search by location or you can search by physician name as well. And then we recommend that you check yes to the next question, which is allowing us to see and try to find, if you forgot a couple of institutions, try to allow us to find that information for you and go collect that information from those institutions as well. So it's okay if you forget. We can do some detective work and try to find information. Faster if you have all the information ready, but it won't be lost if you forget. And then finally, we're asking you if there's anything you want to be left out from the medical records. And that is, here's like mental health, sexual records, anything. So that's really, if you feel like it's not relevant to SCN2A and that's not going to help SCN2A research, and you don't feel comfortable sharing that, having that information shared with other providers, then we can exclude it. Are there any questions so far before I keep going on where we are in the flow? Good? Okay. So finally, we're doing the citizen consent, and this is kind of adding you to our citizen data bank. And that is, if I'm just going to give an example, we have a researcher wanting to study genetic epilepsy in general. We will be able to include you in that research. So it might not benefit SCN2A specifically, but it might benefit your child or the rare disease community overall. Okay, and then finally, those are the final steps where we go in and we ask you to upload your photo, your birth certificate, or your child's birth certificate. You can onboard on your phone or on your computer. So if you are onboarding on your phone, you can easily take a picture directly from your phone. So you don't have to have that preloaded on your computer or pre-scanned. You can just take it as you signing up. That's what I did, and that was really seamless. Because I can never figure out the scanner in my house, so that was helpful. And then if your child had any other names before, so that would help also track down those records. And then finally, we're asking you if there's a phone number, if you can enter your phone number, and that is so that we can contact you if there's any questions or issues. Let's say if you uploaded, the photo is too blurry and we need another photo, we'll be able to contact you quickly to get that resolved so that we can go in and collect the records. And then finally, it's just a recap of everything you've entered and just making you double check, and you have the option to add more institution or just make some changes after you review everything. And you'll sign, and then we'll just kind of go through the final process of, okay, you've completed all the steps. If you want to receive a text message instead of an email or on top of an email, when you get records, enter your phone number here. And then if you have any medical records that you would like to upload, so if you do have your genetic record, that would be great if you could upload it at that point. If say yes, it will just take you to just the upload. You'll have an upload button. If no, then you're all done. Congratulations, you are now a citizen. And then when you're done, you will be taken to your dashboard. And this is where you see at the top right, you can share records, you can request more. So at first, your dashboard is going to look a little empty because it's going to take a couple of weeks to get everything in. But mine is particularly, it has all the imaging. And I guess that's another thing that I wanted to share. It will bring MRI, like all the imaging that and like it's probably not the right word, the doctor style imaging where you can see all the colors, you can see everything move. It's pretty cool. That's it. All right. We are
Thanks,
done.
Virginie. This is really helpful, especially like going through step by step and things. We would like to open up with questions. So if there's anyone that has a question, you can unmute yourself and ask or type it in the chat.
I do. Hi, it's me
Hi,
again.
Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, so I was wondering what you thought about getting records from non-institution providers, so like private doctors or offices that are non-affiliated with big institutions?
Yeah, just list their names and their
It should
information.
pop up.
They should pop up, and if they don't, you have a way to enter their information, their contact information, if they're not listed, and then we will go in and still collect records from those. I had one case in my for my child.
Great. And do you think it'd be beneficial to get every type of record, such as like non-medical, or do you think that's not really contributing to anything, such as like osteopathy, I don't know, dentist, therapy?
Dentist, maybe not, unless it's important to your rare disease, right? That's just so I would say if it's not relevant, it's not going to get picked up, but you still have access to it. So you just use it as a a holder, I guess. Like you still have access to it. I personally liked having my son therapies note. It came because he does it through the hospital, and I found a lot of really important information. I don't know if it's going to help the SYNGAP community overall, but it helped me as a parent because those were notes that I hadn't seen before that I thought were helpful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask a family from Italy. She wanted to make sure that we would ask a question. I know you said earlier that you will be accepting international families in April. And that was, when will this open up for SCN2A families outside of the US? But also, does it limit certain countries or is it everyone?
So a lot of good questions there. I might not have the answers to all of it, but in broad, in terms of when the SCN2A families, international families, will be able to onboard, that's something that we should know fairly soon. We need to discuss with the different parties involved and when we can open up the next cohort. And then in April, we will accept English, international countries where English records are in English first, because that's how our machine learning and everything is. It's only trained in English right now. But we are looking at options. So I don't have a timeline, but it is a priority of ours just because we understand rare diseases. It's not just English speakers, and we need to capture as many families as possible. So that's definitely important to us. So as soon as we have more information on a more firm timeline, we will reach back out to the different partners and let them know about the different options.
Okay. And then also, because currently right now, the open enrollment ends on March 18th, I believe. Yep. Correct. So then there will be another round opening up in April, correct?
That's something that needs to be discussed in terms of with the different parties involved when the next SCN2A cohort will open up.
Okay.
We do not have the date right now. So right now, as if you are in the US, definitely jump on the few spots that are remaining. Because right now we don't have the second date. There's going to be another cohort. We don't know when in the year when that's going to fit in.
Okay, so to be determined. So it's not really official, but it is to be determined.
Correct.
I see a question in the chat. For international countries, do we have to pre-sign up so we don't lose one of the limited slots?
So the slots right now, you wouldn't be right now. It's the flow is only is designed for US. We haven't opened up our international flow. So you kind of come into your cohort ends before we can even open our international cohort, right? So right now there's no way, but and that's something that we can discuss with the NCN2A partners, is opening up potentially a wait list. So you could be able to put your name on the wait list so that we know the interest from and what countries that we need to focus on first. So definitely something that we can do after March 18th.
Okay. And then I have a question. So you showed us the onboarding, what it would be like for anyone right now in the United States. Will it be, do you anticipate it being a little bit different for international families? Would
It
they
will
be
be
putting,
different.
okay.
Yes, it will be different. Just for just because each country has different laws and different regulations on how to get records. So families will most likely, international families at first will have to go in and collect the records. So we will not be doing this. We'll help them as much as we can in terms of providing guides on regulations in a country and how to, what are the steps to get their medical records, and then they'll be able to send them to us or upload them directly on the platform. So they will be, it will be a little bit more labor intensive, definitely for international families at first than US families. That's, but hopefully we'll eventually catch up. But the next few cohorts that will, international families will have to, and it will be 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes to sign up, because you won't have to list your institutions, you won't have to upload your birth certificates and all that. So the sign up process is going to be a lot faster, but then yeah, it could take some time to get the medical records.
Okay, but you will help them as much as you can
We
with
will help
providing information
absolutely.
and
Yes.
all of that stuff. It's just going to, for the moment,
It won't be
have them.
as automated or as
Okay.
yes, it's there's so much our team is gonna be able to do in other countries where we don't necessarily have the same power.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying, because it's
Yeah,
really important.
absolutely.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Ginny? This was super helpful. Any comments and concerns? If you like it, don't like it, we're open.
Yeah, absolutely open to feedback.
I'll just say that it was super helpful because I had a question and the representative got back to me really fast. So the customer service is great.
Thank you. Yes, I don't know if it was Mikkel, but our team, our Sherpa team and customer service team, they're absolutely amazing. And they will help you. You might get some institutions that will push back and they will fight until they get those records for you. So.
Mikkel was very helpful with me too as well, so they are very helpful. And I also learned something, that to add the providers, not also just the institution, just to make sure there's every single doctor that your child sees. So I'm just going to go back in and list all those 18 little providers right there. So thank you.
And one thing that I learned as a parent, excuse me, is that now I'm a lot more detailed when I go see my son's neurologist or follow-up geneticist, because those doctors' notes are really important. And so I'm going in with like very detailed, like seizures that day, that length. Like I'm like super specific because I want that provider. It's not a guarantee that they will type it, but if they do, it's in the records and we can extract that information. So now I'm like I'm a lot more structured and organized when I go to see the doctors, which we should all really do anyway, but
I know.
it's a lot.
And I think I'm going to jump on one of Mary's questions about outside providers. What are your thoughts about uploading like school IEPs or anything? Do you see that being beneficial just because you see progress of what the child's doing?
Right. Or no? I don't, in terms of, it doesn't come from a medical professional. So I don't know how much weight we can put in it. That makes sense?
Yeah, I was thinking of the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, if they have vision therapy, how that can correlate.
Right. I'm one that I upload whatever I can, to be honest. That's probably not the right citizen answer, but that's the mom answer. And my thought is that if it's not used, it's not used.
Okay.
But you have it. and I don't lose it. That's my
Got it.
personal, yeah. And but if you can use correlate with other findings, you know what I'm saying? That can be helpful for you.
And who knows, someone down the line might be interested in
Right.
IEPs, or there's certain
Exactly.
things, so it's already there. So it'll
And
be
the
a bonus.
technology always evolves, so yeah.
Great. Anyone else? Well,
Hey guys, thanks for putting this on. This is more of a housekeeping question. Will this be available to be viewed later? I've been trying to listen in while I'm at work.
yes, this is recorded, so we will be definitely uploading this and putting it in the community, and we can also email it to people who have registered today.
Yep. And if you have any question, you can always reach out to me. And I should have posted my email address. It's virgine@citizen.com. And so you can reach out directly to me too if you have specific questions.
Yeah, and you can also reach out to the organization too at info@scn2a.org or research@scn2a.org, and we can make sure that we connect you to Virginie and Citizens to get the right answer for you guys.
Right.
So Virginie, do you know how many slots are left currently?
I was looking right before I jumped on, and I believe we have about 23 slots open.
Okay, great.
So jump on it.
Exactly. Well, this has been really wonderful. And again, if anyone has any questions that pop in, definitely email us or ask them in the community, and we'll make sure that they get to Virginie or anyone at Citizens to get the right information from the horse's mouth. And I can't thank you enough for doing this, and this really means a lot to our organization, so I appreciate it.
We're here to help. We're all sharing the same goal, right?
Exactly. All right, everyone. So thank you so much. Reach out, and we will see you soon. Enjoy the beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.